Number 19 is very similar to number 18. Here's the deal. You just need an x and y coordinate. You do not need to graph it, but there's no problem with doing so. And I often will graph things to give myself a better understanding or to give my students a better understanding. And I'll do that here. It says the terminal side of A is in quadrant 1, so this is our quadrant. And the terminal side lies on the line y equals 7x. What's the y-intercept? 0, thank you. What's the slope? 7, very good. So hopefully you know what slope is by now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then over 1. Okay, so this forms the terminal side. Standard position. So it starts from the positive x-axis. This is still about right triangles. If it helps you, feel free to draw the right triangle. You can label this 7. You can label this 1. And since we're finding tangent, we don't even need r. Sweet. Like I said, you don't even need to graph it. You can just find a point on the line. Someone say what point this is, please. 1,7. There you go. So that's your x and that's your y. This is why I think it's helpful to know the trig functions in terms of x and y, and sometimes r. So very simple. Tangent is y over x. It's the ratio of the y coordinate to the x coordinate. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Sorry, it's not more difficult. Okay. Any questions on 19? Bon. 20. Let's have a random helper now. Ashley. My first question for you is, could you teach me how to graph 4x plus 5y equals 0? And then maybe later on how to Dougie? Good. Minus 4x, minus 4x. 5y equals negative 4x. Good. Masterfully done. If you have any questions about putting things in slope-intercept form, please ask Ashley. She may or may not help you. And can you tell me now how to graph this?
Yeah, so it's rise over run, so you go over 5 and then under 4.
From where?
From the quadrant 4. No, from 0.
From 0, very good. This has a y-intercept of 0. So we're going to start here. And yes, please keep in mind that you are in quad 4. Okay, so I like what she said. We're going to go down 4, because it's rise over run, and then to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your point. That's all you need is a point on the terminal side other than 0, 0. 0, 0 will not help you. Feel free to draw a right triangle. It's always with respect to the x-axis. Ashley, could you tell me how long this side is?
4.
Good. This side?
And 5.
And let's see. We're trying to find cotan, so we don't need r. Sweet. Less work to do. Ashley, cotan is what over what in general?
Adjacent over, cotangent.
Yeah, you're right. Adjacent over. That would be cosine.
Okay, so over, don't say it. No, opposite.
There you go. And in terms of coordinates, it's what over what?
5 over 4.
No, I'm only pausing because I was thinking about what I want to say to you in response to that. So what I was asking, and I just wasn't clear enough, is more generally. So adjacent is x, opposite is y. So we want the ratio of the x to the y coordinate. There is a danger in labeling these without the negative signs. So you may want to do that. So this is negative because the y is negative, and that can be positive still. So how about this, Ashley? Tell me the coordinates of this point, please.
5 over 4.
Good. Now you'll get the polarity right of the trig function. So try again.
It's 5 over -4.
Good. And algebra rules of etiquette say do not put a negative in the denominator. Otherwise you'll go to your room without dinner, apparently. Okay. So negative 5 over 4.
Why is it -4 over 5?
Why isn't it negative 4 over 5? Let's double check my work.
No, you're right.
We're good?
Yeah. That's because it's
Are-
adjacent over opposite. Yeah, but it should be x over y isn't x.
The adjacent is 5, the opposite
No,
is
x
4.
is 5, y is negative.
Yes, I believe this to be correct, but I've been wrong many times in my life. So let's.
No, I just don't get how the x is 5 instead of negative.
It has to do with the slope. So do you agree that the slope is negative 4/5?
Yeah.
All right. That means go down 4 and go to the right 5 from the origin. Yeah, so the y is negative 4 and the x is 5. So I think that's correct. That looks like choice B. Okay, any questions on 20? Again, just find a point and you can pretty much take it from there. 21. Not here. Liam. My first question for you is, can you give me the slope-intercept form of 7x minus 5y equals 0? Not saying you have to do it this way, but I think it might help people. Negative 5y equals?
7x.
Negative 7x. Okay? So when you subtract 7x, you get negative 5y equals negative 7x. Okay, what would your next step be? Divide by negative 5. Good. And tell me what you get. Good. Y equals 7/5 x. Let's try doing this one without graphing it. But if you want to graph it, go ahead. Okay. No. Double negative. Remember, math is where 2 wrongs make a right.
Aren't you adding 7x?
No, I'm subtracting it.
But it says -7.
Oh, thank you so much. You're awesome. Excellent observation skills. You would be a good detective. So let's revise this. Plus, 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 minus. Okay, negative 7/5 x. Very good. Okay, so as I was saying, let's not graph this one, but feel free if you want to. Let's just get a point. So, Liam, we're in quad 2, so are the x's positive or negative in quad 2? Negative. Therefore, just plug in any value you want for x, but it's got to be negative. So, what do you think is a good value to plug in, Liam? -1. Here's the deal. Nothing at all wrong with that. It's just some people don't like fractions. So, can you think of a number that you can plug in for x such that you will not get a fraction? That is true, but that makes x a fraction? Here's why I'm asking you to avoid it. Because for secant, we have to calculate r. And r is the square root of x squared plus y squared. So I think some people will not like squaring something like 5/7. So think of a whole number.
Negative 5.
-5. That wipes out that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Why do you have to find r?
Because we want secant for number 21.
And then that just hypotenuse over two.
It is. And the hypotenuse is r.
So isn't that just root 77?
It very well could be. Yeah. Okay. So if you didn't follow that thing I did with Liam, it's no big deal. Feel free to graph it. So it starts at the origin, this one. You're in quad 2. Your slope is -7/5. So you can go up 7. And then to the left 5. It's very hard for me not to say the Beyonce quote, but try not to.
Oh, I thought it had to be -7. I went to left 7 up 5.
Left 7 up 5 is not correct, right? Because it's rise over run. So the numerator is the up or down, right? Not the left or right.
Yeah, I don't get which way to put it on. But then,
It's got to be in quad 2, right?
but then for the,
So it's got to be here.
but then for number 20, the 5 going left. Yeah.
Well, I have to be in this quadrant, so I have to think. Because they dictate to you that it has to be in quad 2. No, they tell you.
Oh. Can't you give the negative to either one?
Can you give the negative to either one? Yes, but you have to end up here.
So, but you still wouldn't. If I gave it the -7 one, I would do -7 there.
Well, are you interpreting -7 as going down?
No, I did -7 on the end.
Oh, that is incorrect, right? Because it's rise over run. So it's vertical change over horizontal change. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what we did for 20.
Rise over run and you go.
Okay.
I don't understand why that would matter.
Number 20, the slope is -4/5, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was looking
The answer was 5 foot.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking.
okay. Well, good. Glad you cleared that up for yourself. So back to 21. I think we're in agreement now that this is where the point should be. And Liam, back to you. Could you tell me the coordinates of that point?
-5, 7.
-5, 7. Yeah, I agree. Feel free to draw a triangle. This is going to be 7. This is 5, or if you like, -5. And as I said, since we're finding secant, and secant has the hypotenuse in it, we have to find r. And you can use this. This is the distance formula, or the Pythagorean theorem. It's easy. Just plug it in. So your x is -5. Your y is 7. Liam, -5 times itself is 25. 7 times itself is 49. The sum of those two is 74. Can you simplify radical 74? You cannot. Now we have all the pieces of the puzzle. R is root 74. My favorite highway. Just kidding. And the x is -5. Okay? I don't want to go to bed without dinner, so I'll follow the rules of etiquette. Negative root 74 over 5. Okay. All right. Any questions on problems like 18 through 21, where you're given a line and you need to find the trig function? Just find a point on that line. That's your x, that's your y. Sometimes you have to find r, use the formula. Sweet. Okay, our last set. So, you might be confused by this notation. You are not alone. In fact, some mathematicians disagree with this notation. They would choose something else. And I understand their point of view, because it's a little confusing. Like, if you see this for the first time, what the heck does sine squared mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means, but it's only because somebody told me. It's kind of like if you saw this word and said knife. Well, how do you know it's not knife? Somebody tells you. So, I'm telling you that sine squared of 90 degrees means the sine of 90 degrees, that quantity, squared. So please know that. That's the notation that we'll use when we're squaring trig functions. So, what these problems are doing is they're combining your ability to get trig function values for quadrantal angles, which is very fancy talk for saying find the value of a trig function for an angle that lies on an axis, like 0, 90, 180, 270, etc. And your ability to do some pretty simple algebra. Okay? So we need to find sine squared of 90 degrees and cosine squared of 90 degrees. I'll do one for you, and then I'll call on people. Yes!